yeah, it must have been over 2 years now since I first heard about it. Someone riding the same elevation as Mount Everest. At the time, I didn't even know what that was. It wasn't until later I looked it up and saw it was 29,000 feet. I do remember it had a cool name, though. Everesting. Wow. I wanted to do it right away. 2 years, though. 2 years. It's a little bit about finding the right time and getting some people together. A little bit about planning. A little bit about fear, too, though. Fear of taking something that big on. Fear of failing. That's what this wall is. 15-foot reminder of what I set out to do. No turning back now. I called up Coach Gareth and I asked him what he thought it might take to prepare for something like this. I remember his first answer was he didn't know if you could do anything to prepare for this, but you'd probably need at least 2 months to do it. So right there, we looked at a calendar and picked a date. There were a lot of tough rides leading up to this. The first time up Mount Baldy, the biggest climb on our route, we were so wrecked coming down. I remember just pulling to this crappy gas station and just collapsing against the pumps in the shade, drinking Coke. It wasn't until this older woman pulled up for gas we realized how strange it must look to find 3 grown-ass men in Lycra sitting there on the ground at her pump. We had a good laugh about it, but the next 20 miles were pretty quiet too. Only had a month to go and quite a bit of work to do.
Alright, we're about to start. We're starting at 3 o'clock roughly, and we're going to ride through the night. So we're 2,700 feet in, climbing, and 13 miles into the ride. And the key with this is just keeping ourselves paced. We're doing great, and morale's high. Let's keep it going.
That has the mix.
Very sweet. You know, like I think it's just mostly just fine. Bobby, yeah. Uh, 33 miles in, 5,500 feet. Sun just kind of set pretty quickly on us. It's like 6:30, I think. It'll be the first time I think any one of us has ridden straight through the night. I just want to be held by like a woman who's been in bed for like 12 hours. She's really warm, you know? Yeah. She's got that good like woman in the morning smell.
So we're 88 miles in, coming up on 11,600 feet of climbing. Normalized power is still at 183, so we're hitting our marks. Everyone's getting a little tired, maybe sleep deprived, but I think if we keep this pace, we'll be all right. We just have to keep turning legs. That's it.
Yeah, it's starting to feel like a really long day. I'll tell you this right now.
So we're at 130 miles and 17,400 feet of climbing, and the road is closed, but we're gonna keep going. Things took a turn for the gnarly, and we're covered up. Raining like crazy.
We were trying to figure out what time you guys would cross over, and the wind, I mean, our van was getting blown all night.
It's crazy.
So we're like, are they gonna make it? So then when we saw you guys, we were like, they made it! Oh my god, I was like so excited.
So we just descended a road on Angeles Crest, like nearly 7,000 feet, in clouds, rain, and crazy winds, and super cold. So we're almost 150 miles in, which is good, that helps. And the sun's back up, helps morale, but yeah, it was freezing. We had to put out more power just to stay warm up there. So we definitely pushed it over 200, well into 250 and above, so.
You know, quitting sucks. Which is why we're not doing it. We're just gonna ride it, rain.
It's 24 hours since we first started riding, which is that feels like a long time. Did anyone explain what happened and why we're here? We got to Mount Wilson, which was supposed to be the end of the ride, and we had 7,000 feet, so we thought we'd just do repeats up to the observatory, but then it dropped like 10 degrees below forecast. It was just really cold and wet, so we ended up deciding to drop down back into town 20 miles and found this little 1 mile climb up here. We're just doing it 19 times, and it's like 360 feet each time.
We're done. 25 hours, so long, but the weather threw everything out.
I'm not tired. I just hypothermic.
Yeah.
Finished 215, 20 something odd miles, 29,000 feet. Pretty wrecked. Stoked to get home, eat some more food. This is Cindy. She drove for 26 hours. Absolute champ. We love you, Cindy.